Salute. You are now rocking with the best chick game sports TV. Right back at it again. And so listen, it's been a few days since I posted anything. I posted a few short videos about the pre-fights and the preliminary bouts on the night that Spence Jr. beat down Yordenis Ugas, broke that eye socket, sent them to the hospital. It was an exciting fight. And so I felt, since I spent $75, that I would watch the fight 75 times until I posted another vehicle. Not true, but I did watch the video, the fight over and over and over again. Everything from Big Tuck and Southside the Realest to the awesome display that Errol Spence Jr. let loose that night in DFW, AT&T Dallas Cowboy Stadium. It was exciting. And so watch the bout, listen over and over to many commentators, a whole lot of what happens next, what ifs, just a whole lot of news and media going forth with the great story of the future bout. Spence versus Crawford, Crawford versus Spence. When does it happen? How does it happen? Where does it happen? And who wins? My eyes view, based on what we have been seeing from Errol Spence Jr., Errol wins. Flat out, he wins. And it's just like this. Michael Irvin said, you know you in there with a man. Something like that. It takes a man to break a man. And Errol Spence Jr. breaks MFers. He'll break him, man. He will break him. He'll break him. He puts those hands together, put those paws together, and you see what you got. The result was awesome. What I love about Errol Spence Jr. is the jab was live all night long. He was on his stick. He was on that jab. Not only did he jab over and over again, but he was doing a whole lot of pivoting and moving and using angles to dig into the body of Ugas. I mean, he was just digging that body. Seemed like from early on till the very last round, he dug Ugas to the body. He slid in nice uppercuts. The left was crisp. Everything Errol threw was crisp when it landed. He did have some wild shots. Some shots didn't, make the target. However, he was always dressed down with a high guard and in defense. Once he threw a shot, the guard was up. He's out of the way. He's in the way. And when it was time to dig the body and get close and bang, Errol Spence was banging. And this is the fight that Terrence Crawford does not want. Terrence Crawford does not want to bang with Errol Spence. Because one thing we saw in this fight with Ugas and Errol Spence was, it seemed like Ugas was in quicksand. He couldn't move. Errol was banging to the body, and then he'd go up top to the head. I mean, it was some shots that was just bow, bow, over and over again. Bow, bow, over and over again. And it's like Ugas couldn't even move out the way. Why? Because Errol, paid that man heavy fines if you wanted to cross that bridge. There was a levy coming with it. You guys paid for trying to get in close with Spence. Shots to the body was cause defeat, not to be able to move and be free like he wanted. You bang a brother to the body. And one thing was exciting for me and crafty of Errol. Errol was hitting his brother in the hips. It was a couple of low shots, but Errol was hitting him in the hips, hitting him. Oh man, he was just lighting him up. Everything low. Bow, 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 bow. I'm like, my goodness. Ugas' face was hurting, but I know his legs was hurting. His hips was hurting. He probably needed a masseuse. He needed a chiropractor. He needed a heating pad. He needed some Epsom salt. He needed a hot tub. He needed a cold ice soak. That man needed anything that would be able to relieve the pain and pressure, reduce the swelling, and help with the aches and pains of fighting Errol Spence Jr. That's what I think Crawford will deal with, and anybody else definitely at 147. It's just no banging with Errol. Now, Errol move up. Let's see if that power carries, but for sure, if you're in the welterweight division, anywhere around that 147, you fight this man, you getting beat and you getting broke. That's the truth. Shalom. Salute. You already know. It's game day, baby. Woo!